This is a video about some of the films that I've seen and that I've enjoyed. I saw Shen and Lu in college. This was for an introduction to film class. Nanic of the North, I also saw in college in that same introductory film class. The former represented subjectivity in film, the latter represented objectivity. The Matrix films are also good. I really like the first one. Um, it does put out that unprovable idea of whether or not we are actually in a simulation, so that's interesting. I think the second and third ones were good too. Those were more action based. They did have some cool concepts such as the architect and having more than one. And the fourth one I thought was good too. I don't know why it got such low reviews, but I understand they recycled some of the ideas from the first film, but it I think people don't realize how hard it is to write a film and to make a film. So they added some good elements in there of new technologies that have emerged since 99, 2003. Playtronics is used. In one of the machines, and I thought it was a good film overall. Star Wars films are good too. I really like the original ones. I don't think the ones made in the late 90s, early 2000s are bad. I don't think they're great either. Um, Again, I think some people don't know how much effort it takes to make a film. I don't really know how much effort it takes to make a Hollywood film either. But I do know how much it takes to make a short film, and it's hard work. So um, I don't know. I mean, everyone's different, but the so yeah, the first three films are my favorite. Like most people would probably state as they're the most original. Um, the second set of films I thought were good. I like everyone else. I really hate the Jar Jar Binks character. He's just really annoying. Um, so, but I understand people try new things, so I comprehend that. Um, and the second one, the Clone Wars, I thought was fine. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was horrible either. I thought it was a solid film. Had some cool special effects, had a good storyline. I thought the concept of the clones being the stormtroopers was really interesting at the time. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't realize that the stormtroopers were clones, but that was a cool concept to introduce. And then the third film in the second series, the Revenge of the Sith, I thought was really good too. I liked the CG fight with Yoda. I thought there were a lot of good special effects in that also. And it was cool to see Anakin become Darth. That was cool. I enjoyed that at the time. I did see the new ones also. I thought they were good. I think they were about on par with what was released in the early 90s and mid 2000s. I thought they were good. Some people don't like them, some people do. I thought it was good. It was nice to see the old characters come back, Luke and Han, and that was cool to see. I thought the storyline was good. Some people don't like the fact I'm going to put a spoiler alert in here that Palpatine returned. Um, I don't mind that so much. I thought it was kind of cool to have those old characters come back. I mean, that seemed to be sort of the theme of the new films, so having Palpatine come back sort of just matched that theme of seeing those old characters. And they had plenty of new characters too, so I don't know why people complain so much. I mean, they had the new villains, they had the new heroes, so I don't know what. I mean, whatever. People have their thoughts. So anyway, just a film. Um, but yeah, I thought they were all good. I really like all the Star Wars films. I like all the, even the holiday special. I don't understand why people give the holiday special so much flack. I mean, it's cheesy and corny and whatnot, but I mean, they tried something new, They tried a variety show for their Star Wars franchise, and I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, um, am thinking about what's in there. I mean, it's not. I understand that people were thinking, oh, well, this isn't actually Star Wars. Where's the lightsaber fights and all that? But I mean, expand your mind a bit and think a bit beyond what you're used to. But Mandalorian is good too. I haven't really gotten into that as much. Again, I guess I should be more open to the new characters. I haven't watched Mandalorian as much. I did watch the Book of Boba Fett. Andor, I guess, is supposed to be good, but then again, I also don't want to waste too much time on this stuff either, so I don't know. I did check out Mandalorian though, and that was good from what I saw. The Clone Wars cartoon series are really good too. If you ever have a chance to watch those, both the CG and the ones by is it Gennady? I think it's Gennady Tartakovsky, the person who created Dexter's Lab. He created a not a CG but a hand-drawn animated Clone Wars, and those are really good too. So check those if you have a chance. Um, and and then Batman films. I really like the Batman films. I like all of them. The um, the ones in question, the ones that most people give flack to, Batman Forever and then Batman and Robin. I don't think are actually bad. I don't think they're as good as the Tim Burton ones or Batman Begins or even the new Batman, which came out, which I really liked. But I don't think they're bad either. In Batman Forever, Jim Carrey gives a really good performance. Um, and in Batman and Robin, Arnold Schwarzenegger gives a really good performance. And the special effects are great. It's more colorful than the other ones, which is different and new, and I like that. So I don't know, they might even be on par with the other Batman ones. I mean, I when you think of Batman and him being such a large icon, I mean, I understand that they aren't as dark, but I mean, adding color and some fun to Batman. I mean, look at the '60s show. I mean, that was super campy, but um, I understand people want Batman to be serious, and I prefer that also. But I thought they had a serious tone to the Batman Forever and Batman Robin too. I thought those were actually fairly dark and serious. I mean, obviously the visual aesthetics were more colorful, and there were some you know colorful characters too. But thinking about it now, I mean, the Joker's a colorful character, and he was in the Tim Burton one and Dark Knight. So yeah, I don't know. I think people give those films too much flack. I think I'd put them more on par with all the other films. Yeah, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. I mean, yeah, the whole nipples on the suit thing is weird, but I mean, can we look past that a bit? I mean, that's kind of what a child would focus on. But I thought they were really good films. Now that I think of them. And I haven't seen them in a while, but when I was a kid, I thought they were good. So yeah, I again, I never thought they were that bad, but now even now that I'm talking about it now and thinking about it now, those films I would put on par with the Tim Burton ones. I'd say the first four are probably, well, if I have to rank all of the films, all of the Batman films, I guess I can rank all the Matrix films too. So for the Matrix, first film is obviously is my favorite, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. I do kind of rank them that way, but I think they're all good. And then for Star Wars, I won't go through all nine, but I'll kind of lump them into the series. Original is my favorite, and then the second, and then the third ones. And I think they're all really good. But that's kind of the order I put them in. For Batman, I would put both Tim Burton as well as Batman Forever and Batman and Robin in one category, the Begin films in another, and then I'll put the new Batman in another category too. And I like the Justice League Batman too. I think he's good also. Ben Affleck plays Batman very well, and he's really the only one since Adam West who kind of matches Batman's height, and he has more of Batman's build too, which isn't super important, but it's kind of cool to see, and he does a good job of playing him. Um, and yeah, the man who played Batman in the animated series too. I really enjoyed the animated series. Um, I think his name was Tim Conway. I'll have to check that here. No, not Tim Conway. I'm like blanking on his name. Um, he died recently, but he was very good at Batman. He had a great Batman voice. I think he had the best Batman voice out of any of them. And he did play Batman in the Flash show also in real life or in live action. Uh, let me have to check here. Oh, Kevin Conroy. I don't know why I thought his name was Tim. Kevin Conroy. But he is really good. But I'll go back. I'll review the. I'll give my thoughts on. They're not really, this isn't really a review. These are just more of my thoughts. But the Batman Begins films are my favorite out of all the different franchises of films. Uh, I think that Christopher Nolan did a really good job of making Batman as real as possible, and to me, that is to be able to make something that is fantastic and that seems out of the ordinary, realistic. That's really cool. They had great action scenes, all the films. I really liked how they explored Batman's origins in the first Batman, in the Batman Begins film, and then obviously, Heath Ledger did a really good job at playing the Joker in the second one. He's my favorite Joker. He's definitely my favorite one out of all of them. I like Jack Nicholson too, but there's something just manic about Heath Ledger that I really respect in his performance, where he is manic but intelligent simultaneously, and I really appreciate that type of performance from an actor. Um, Third one was good too. That's probably my least favorite of the Batman Begins films, but a really strong film overall. Really liked Bane. Tom Hardy did a great job at playing Bane, and I kind of sound like Bane right now because I just woke up about an hour and a half ago. Not really, but I got the gravelly voice here. But Tom Hardy did a great job with Bane. Um, Christian Bale does a really good job at playing Bruce Wayne and Batman. Uh, really good performance there from him. And Michael Caine does a great job of playing Alfred. All the actors are great in those. Just super strong films there. And then the new Batman I saw, and I liked it. It's my least favorite out of all of them, but it's still a really good film. I really enjoyed it. It was dark. It was exploring the detective side of Batman more, and I really liked it. I liked the Riddler, the character who played him. I'm blanking on his name. He was in what was he in there? It's not Cillian Murphy, but he looks like Cillian Murphy. Yikes! I gotta research him, but He was in No Country for Old Men, and I am blanking on his name. Actor who played Riddler, Paul Dano. Okay, yeah, he's really good too. Very good actor. Uh, but he does a great job with the Riddler, playing him. And I think that's it for all the Batman films. Um, but yeah, the animated series is really good. I like the '60s camp-y stuff too. Every once in a while. Again, I think it's kind of strange because I really do enjoy Batman as being serious, but I do enjoy when they give him a little bit of humor too. Sometimes he's uh, also in the Justice League cartoons, which I watched as a kid or a child rather. Those are really good too. But yeah, Batman does have some humor in him. Has some humor there. I think an appropriate amount. In what I've seen. Um, but yeah, I think if you're going to check out any of the Batman films, definitely look at the Batman Begins. Tim Burton's my second, and then the new Batman. But all the animated series are great. The '60s show is good too, a bit campier but good. I also watched the serials from the '40s, and those are not what you think Batman would be. They're fine and they're well made, and I enjoy them. I haven't watched a lot of them, but um, those are good too. But Batman's, from what I have watched, Batman's not in them very much. Robin's in there too, but he's not in there very much also. It's more of just a kind of police kind of drama, from what I can how I can best describe it. But yeah, those are good too. But yeah, Batman's great. I love Batman. I was him for Halloween when I was 4. So it's always funny when I see that picture of me as Batman being like 3 feet tall. But yeah, I enjoy Batman. But I'm gonna move on to Spider-Man now. Spider-Man films are great too. Really enjoy those. Um, yeah. So the first Spider-Man film. Well, I guess I'll try to do this in chronological order here from when the actual media came out. So I'll do Spider-Man films. I'll do the cartoons. So yeah, huge Spider-Man fan. I love Spidey. He's my favorite superhero. Really think he's a cool character. Um, I like that he is into science, and that's good. That's a good for children. That's a good role model for someone who is an aspiring scientist. That's good. Someone who is passion is science. That's always good. And the first, and okay, so I will talk about the '70s show first, the live action show from the '70s. This show is actually good. I enjoy it. It's interesting. It doesn't have, obviously, it has the good special effects for the 1970s. So you might be disappointed if you go from the 2007 or 2012 or 2023 films to this, but um, so the special effects are still good for the time, though. The costume's good, again for its time, and it's basically about Parker as a grad student. So he's a bit older in this. He's in his late 20s, and he is still in New York City. J. Jonah Jameson is in there. I don't think Aunt May is in there. I haven't seen her yet, although I haven't watched all the episodes yet, so I don't know for certain. But yeah, J. Jonah Jameson's in there. The actor who plays him is good. The actor who plays Spidey's good also. Betty Brant is in there. I don't think Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy are in there. God, I'm blanking on the name of the African American who plays, is it, I know it's RR is are his initials. I think he's in there also. RR. I think it's Robbie Richards or something like that. Um, I got to find that Spider-Man. Robbie Richards? Oh, Robbie Robertson. Yeah, I think he's in that also. So a lot of the characters are in there. The main caveat I would give for those who are going into it for the first time, the 70s live action show, um, the supervillains that you usually find in the Spider-Man media are not in there. He's essentially fighting just more what you would find as normal villains or people who could be villains in real life. They don't have superpowers. They don't have high-tech gadgets. They're just really smart, um, high-level criminals. So um, he deals in one episode with some people who are trying to make a nuclear bomb, and then there's some other episodes too which deal with criminals who have high intelligence but who don't have superpowers or high-level gadgets. So no Venom, no Vulture, no Kraven the Hunter, but it's still good. Check it out. Spidey's in there. The martial arts used, the choreography done is solid. Um, I do have some experience in martial arts. I have 15 plus years of that, and I have done martial arts like acting too, not just like sparring and katas and whatnot, but actual like martial arts entertainment for people, like doing roles and flips and choreography with other people. So I do know a bit about that, and from what I can see in the show, it's done well, and it's it's good. Um, Spidey's webs, as my dad stated to me when he first talked about the show when I was younger, the webs do look like those clotheslines that go across um, from like one end of a post to another. They're white and rubbery. They look like wires, essentially, like white rubber uh, wires with like rubber coating on the top or on the exterior. But the webbing is fine. I don't have any problem with it. It's basically just used for him to swing, and I think he does make a web. He might use. I don't think he uses the web to. Um, you know what? Now that I think of it, I don't think he even uses the web to swing. So the webs in the show are mainly used to man, I'm trying to think of even when they use them because I don't think they. I mean, obviously, since they're in the 70s, they have lower, not lower, but less advanced special effects. Good for the time, but man, I'm trying to think of what he uses the webbing for. I don't think he uses it to swing because they don't ever show him swinging. They do show Spidey crawling up buildings, crawling up walls, and hanging, crawling up, not up, but across ceilings. And I'm blanking on what the webbing is used for. It is in there though, but I don't know what he uses it for. They never show him using it to swing. I don't think he uses it. He might use it to pull weapons out of villains' hands. I don't know that for certain, but it's used sparingly. It's not like in the new movies where he uses it for everything because they can obviously create the webs much easier using the CG. But it's in there. His webs are in there, and they are the artificial web shooters, not the bioorganic, which I prefer. I don't understand. I mean, if he's bitten by a spider, male spiders do build webs, not as much as females, but if he's bitten by the spider, I mean, obviously, wouldn't he have the web power? I mean, that I don't know why he would not have that. I mean, I understand, the artificial web idea where they want to make him more of a scientist and show his scientific capabilities, but I don't think that a teenager or even a grad student could develop that on his own. And he would have to continually replace that over and over and over, and that would take a lot of time and money. So bioorganic webs are the way to go, I think, with Spidey there, and that's strange that they're only found in the Raimi films. I don't, in the cartoons, I think all of the ones I've seen in the cartoons, he has the artificial webs also, which I just never makes sense to me. So I usually just pretended that he had the bioorganic whenever I saw that. Um, but yeah, so the '70s TV shows good. And then the Raimi films are my favorite ones with Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire does a really good job at playing Parker. He's perfect for the role. Um, and the first film is good. If I were to rank the three Raimi films, I would rank them in this order: number two, then number one, and then number three. All are really good. I say they're all about equal. But if I just had to rank them, I'd do it that way. Yeah, two, and then one, and then three. And I'll talk about three in a bit. But yeah, the first one was really good. I enjoyed that, and I think I was 13 at the time. And the first time I saw that, I think I was on a double date with my friend Jeremy Konar, and he had his girlfriend Beth Grinnell, and I had my girlfriend Laura Wright. And I think that I th I don't know. I don't think that's the first time we kissed, but I do remember we kissed at during the scene where like Spider-Man's hanging down and then Mary Jane pulls off his mask. So yeah, that's really cheesy and corny. But yeah, I'm remembering that now. I haven't thought about that in a while. 22 years or so now, but or 21 years. But yeah, the first one's really good special effects. I'm glad they waited to make a live action Spider-Man film until the early 2000s when CG could be used, because that's really the only way you can do a good film with him, as he's all over the place. He's jumping and swinging and dodging and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So, I mean, the live action TV show does a good job for the time with the '70s, but I think if you want to do a big blockbuster pick, I'm glad they waited until the 2000s to do that. I know they're supposed to make one in the '80s, but I think that would have not done quite as well. Um, Pardon my flatulence. So anyway, I'm trying to think of the other parts of the first film that I really liked. Oh, Willem Dafoe is really good in that too. Um, Plays a great Green Goblin. Really menacing and sinister. Um, and then Mary Jane, the actress Kirsten Dunst, who plays Mary Jane, really good at her role in that also. All the actors are great. I really like J.K. Simmons, who's in there, who's really good. And the actress who plays Aunt May is also really good too, and I'm blanking on her name. I will check that name now. Let's see, actress who played Aunt May in Spider-Man 1. Rosemary Harris. Okay, so that is the actress's name. She's really good too. Um, So yeah, Spider-Man 1's really good. That's my second favorite out of all of the three. Um, so I'm trying to think of what else in that film I really like. I mean, the special effects obviously are fantastic. I really enjoy those. Um, the webs are great. They look awesome. The texture to them matches what I think Spider-Man's webs would look like. Um, and just the feel and physics of them are done really well. I like the humor in it. It has an appropriate amount of humor for a film and for a Spidey film. And um, yeah, Sam Raimi seems to know that character well, and so I really do appreciate him as a director. I really like the Evil Dead films. I've seen. I think I might have. I should only say film actually because I think I've only seen the first one. But I really like the Evil Dead, the first film. I think I've seen the second one. I can't remember, but I'll have to check out Army of Darkness too someday. He's a good director. Really knows Spidey well. But yeah, the first one's great. I really enjoy that. think it brought a tear to my eye when I first saw that, and I'm a giant nerd, but that really did make me happy that someone took the time to make a good Spidey film. But anyway, I'll move on here. The second film is really good too. That's my favorite one out of all of them. The special effects are also great. Um, Doctor Octopus is done super well. The fight scenes done between him and Spidey are amazing, like just incredible. Like I've never seen anything like that before in a film in terms of special effects, and it's just really good. Um, but yeah, that's my favorite one. I really liked. I guess I'll differentiate the films a bit and explain why the second one's my favorite. The second one has they all have great villains, and I'll defend the third one a bit um, when I get to it. But why I like the second one the most has like the other ones has a great villain. It also has great special effects. What puts it a bit above the other two, though, is that in the third one, and I guess I'll just kind of explain the third one a bit here. The third one does have some cheesiness in it, but it's nothing that I really didn't enjoy. To be honest, I didn't enjoy the first film when I first saw it. Ooh, sorry. When I first saw it when I was 19, but I did watch it again more recently, and I am able to look past the cheesier, sillier parts now, the dance scene and the whole goth hair thing. Um, that's not really that big of a deal, and it's really not a huge part of the movie. I mean, that scene is like 3 minutes of him dance. Not even like of him dancing. It's like 30 seconds, and then his jazz hands scene where he's goth and has the goth hair or whatnot in that bar. That's cheesy too, but it's no cheesier than the other two movies either. But anyway, that kind of set me off a bit when I was younger. But again, I'm having maybe I should just put all three of them on par now that I'm thinking about it. Um, so yeah, I maybe I'll just do it that way because now that I think of it, there really isn't anything that differentiates the second or the third or the first. They all have good villains. Green Goblin's great for the first one. Doc Ock's a great one for the second one. They're all the big ones. I understand that Sam Raimi was reluctant to use Venom in the third one, although I'm not sure why though. I don't know. I think he said his character was not interesting. He didn't have a good backstory, but I think Eddie Brock is an interesting character. I think he's my favorite villain out of the whole Spider-Man cadre. I know it's kind of cheap if you were just saying, well, he's my favorite villain because he has the same powers as Spidey and all that. But I think Eddie Brock's backstory of him losing his job due to Parker and then taking revenge on him due to that after gaining the symbiote power, I think that's really interesting. And Venom also has the potential to become an ally to Spider-Man in all the other films, which is seen in the comics as well as the video games and the animated series. So I personally, I think Venom is actually very interesting, and I think Sam Raimi has come around to that, so that's good. Um, but the third one does have a couple more villains in there also, which I don't mind. I think they do a good job of balancing that out, and I think the reason why Sam Raimi had those extra villains was to add more complexity to the film, as well as not explain, but to grow Harry's character arc, where Harry finds out about the death of his father in the first one. He finds out who Spider-Man is in the second one, and then it finishes with him forgiving Spider-Man, and then it obviously um, coming to terms with him and becoming his ally. And yeah, the Sandman's in there also, which he's. Sorry, I flash once again. Um, he is also a very good villain. The special effects for Sandman are also fantastic. that must have taken a long time to do to get all of those grains of sand um, in every scene where he is transforming into his sand form. But I thought the Sandman had a good backstory too. Um, I didn't mind too much that he was now part of the whole plot where he's now um, the one who kills. Is it that? I apologize, 'cause I haven't seen this film in a while, but I think Sandman becomes the villain who now has killed or is responsible for Uncle Ben's death. I don't think he is directly responsible, but he is indirectly responsible. Um, if you want to leave a comment on that and correct me, that's fine. I can't remember right now because I haven't seen that in a while. I think I saw that most recently. It was like 7 or 8 years ago now, but it's still a really good film. So yeah, the first, second, and third films are all really great, all unique, all have unique stories to them, and they do follow one story arc. So that's really good too. I think that would be expected of any film that had a trilogy, but that it does have all the films do have that one story that connects them. Um, and yeah, I really liked how Tobey Maguire made an appearance in the new Spider-Man film, No Way Home. Um, is that the name of it? Man, I'm so bad at this. I got to check, but yeah, No Way Home. I think that's so. Yeah, No Way Home. So I'll review those two. Or talk about those two. The Amazing Spider-Man films are my least favorite out of all the films. Sam Raimi is my favorite. Those films are my favorite. The Amazing Spider-Man ones are my least favorite. The special effects are good. The acting is not as good as the ones that Sam Raimi directed, which is a bit of a letdown. I don't think Andrew Garfield is a super good actor. He kind of annoys me, but I understand acting is very hard, and I do give him credit for trying that role out. And um, the films, they're fine. I think they're more of a popcorn type of movie. So if you want to, just kind of let your brain go for a while and not get as engaged in a film, then they're fine. But I kind of prefer the Raimi and Tom Holland films. So yeah, Raimi first, and then the Tom Holland ones, and then the ones with Andrew Garfield. And yeah, Tobey Maguire, I just like more as an actor. I think he's more experienced, and I understand that. And Andrew Garfield is not like super young, but he is somewhat young in his 30s still. So, and I think he was in his 20s when he was in um, the Amazing Spider-Man when he was shooting those. But yeah, I think Toby and Tom are a bit stronger. I think Toby's the best out of all of them, and then Tom, and then Andrew. And I think I haven't seen Andrew in anything else, but um, out of the three, I would say he's the weakest. But again, I don't want to state he's a bad actor, but um, I think he does a fine job. I don't think he's like bad, but I think I would have to see him in other things to give him a better evaluation. But anyway, so yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man, those are fine. Those are my least favorite. The special effects are good. Acting is fine. I don't have any issues with them at all. I think they're okay, but yeah, I might be, I might have a bias, so I might be biased and might like the Tobey Maguire ones more because I was younger when I first saw those. But I have watched those again, and it just seems like there's better directing in the first Spider-Man films. The Amazing Spider-Man films are okay, but I'm gonna move on from those now. Um, they do use the villains from those in the new Far From Home, No Way Home films, which is cool. I think blanking on his name, but the actor who played Electro, Jamie Foxx, does a really good job at Electro. That is one villain and actor who I will give credit to for those Amazing Spider-Man films. I thought Electro was done really well, specifically Jamie Foxx's performance as Electro. Um, and yeah, I thought the Lizard was cool. So I guess I'm not moving on from those yet, but yeah, the special effects for Lizard were cool. Michael Keaton does a good job as the Vulture in. Oh wait, no, that I'm moving on to the Tom Holland stuff now. So apologies for that. Who's in the Amazing Spider-Man and Electro? Oh, Rhino was another villain in the Amazing Spider-Man ones. Again, these are my least favorite, so I don't remember them super well. So Electro, Rhino, and then wasn't Vulture in the second one? The Lizard was the other one that I talked about already. So apologize for that. I am all a Twitcher, or I guess all a Fletcher. I don't know how. I'm just discombobulated right now because I like just woke up. But anyway, yeah, okay. So the Amazing Spider-Mans, I will move on from those now. And the third set of films, the ones that star Tom Holland, are also good. Tom Holland's good. He's a bit boyish for me. He like I could see him as a middle schooler, and I know Spidey's supposed to be at the very least in high school, and I will give Andrew Garfield credit to that. He is a bit older looking than Holland is, but they're all kind of boyish, I suppose. So I won't give him too much flack for that. But anyway, I guess that he's fine. You know, he is young, so I am not going to put him down. Um, so anyway, I repeal that. I rescind. He's fine. Spidey's, I guess, supposed to be kind of boyish anyway. Um, so yeah, those are good. Those are my second favorite set of films. Tom Holland does a good job at playing Spidey. He has a good performance. Like all the other Spidey performances, Spidey does have this sort of duality between, this character he has where when he's in his Peter Parker mode, he is just sort of this, how I would interpret Spidey, he's not he is sort of nerdy, a bit bookwormish, kind of shy, but when he puts the mask on, he gains this new sort of confidence where he can joke, he can make quips, he can be somewhat funny when he's fighting and swinging, and he still has all his scientific knowledge, but he has this sort of attitude, but not an attitude where he's being negative or being, a prick. Um, maybe he is being a prick. I guess that might be a good word to describe him, but yeah, Spidey's a prick when he's in that sort of quippy mode of his. But yeah, he has a good level of scientific knowledge, and that's seen, I think, in all of the films. In the Raimi films, where he is Doc Ock's assistant, or not? He's not. Is he his assistant in the first film or the second film? No, but he does. He's not his assistant, but he admires Doc Ock, and he does a paper on him. So there we go. That's how they connect his scientific knowledge there, in the Raimi films, and then in the second one is he has the artificial web shooters, which that showcases his knowledge there in that way. Although, as stated previously, I prefer the organic, bioorganic webs. And then the third one is, had the web shooters also there, so that showcases his scientific knowledge and how he uses it, and that also. That's how they show how he has that. But yeah, the Tom Holland ones are good. I really like Michael Keaton as Vulture. I apologize for confusing that for what was in the Amazing Spider-Man films. That was in the first Tom Holland film. So it's Far From Home, No Way Home, and then what was the first one called? I can't remember what the first one was called. Uh, Far From Home, No Way Home, or No Way Home, Far From Home, and then oh, Homecoming. Okay, that's why I couldn't remember that because it had that different style of name to it, but it does have home. So Homecoming, and then No Way Home when he's in Europe, and then Far From Home. So yeah, I really like the third films. I think they did a good job of incorporating Iron Man into them. I think they branched out a bit, and I like the fact that they put Spider-Man in different scenarios. Him going to Europe was cool. I liked how they brought in both Garfield and Tobey Maguire in No Way Home. I thought that was really cool, and it kind of builds on the whole Spidey multiverse, which has a lot of potential for more films. But I did see the first Spidey multiverse film. I haven't seen the second one yet. I thought it was fine. I didn't enjoy it a lot. I thought it was good though. I'm glad they're playing around with new ideas with Spidey, putting in new characters, the Ghost Spidey and Spider Ham and all the Spider-Man Noir, all of those, and then the one with the robot, the girl with the robot Spidey. That's really cool. I'm glad they're putting new ideas into films. As you get older, I kind of went in with a bias because I was like, well, I'm getting older. I shouldn't really be watching this stuff anymore. It's for kids and all that. But I'm really glad they're um, putting new stuff into these films and not just rehashing the old villains and are rethinking things and are really trying to expand the Spidey universe. But I'll return to the Holland films now. The first one, Homecoming, is good. I like that. I liked how Iron Man was incorporated into it. I like the Spidey suit, the mechanical suit he has. I was kind of biased against that too. I kind of prefer the original red and blue or the symbiote. Spidey also in the comics wore a black suit that looked like the symbiote suit, but wasn't actually black. Sorry, not actually black. Not actually the symbiote suit. It was just a cloth version of the symbiote suit because Spider-Man liked the way it looks. I like that too, but I think the mechanical suit is cool too. I watched not all of the um, Avengers movies, but I did see. I think it was Infinity War, and I liked how Spidey was incorporated into Infinity War. Had an appropriate amount of time in those. Again, Spider-Man's not a in the Marvel universe in terms of like how powerful a superhero is. Spidey is sort of middling. So you have some superheroes in the Marvel universe that don't really have superpowers at all. So Daredevil, he has super senses, but he doesn't have super strength. He doesn't have super speed. He can't project energy or things like that. So he'd be on the lower end of that scale. Spider-Man's sort of in the middle. He has super strength and super speed, but nothing like Thor has. He also doesn't have the power to manipulate energy or shoot energy from his body. He does have webbing, but it's not quite the same as electricity or fire or ice or things that have potential to have more powerful effects. So yeah, Spider-Man's kind of in the middle, sort of the middleman of the Marvel universe, so to speak, in terms of actual power. But the suit does give him some extra abilities, which I thought was cool. And I really like seeing the special effects in all the Tom Holland films, the Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and then in the Avengers films also. I thought the special effects for the suit were really good. I really liked Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I think he's a great actor. So I like seeing him there. And then I'm trying to think. Oh, I should talk about him and Batman a bit more. But he's uh, really good in the Tim Burton Batman films. I haven't seen him in The Flash yet, but I did cheat a bit and just looked up his scenes from those films, which are online, and he seems to have a really good sense of who Batman is still, and does a really good job at playing him, from what I've seen. But yeah, his Batman, as well as the Christopher Nolan Batman, and even Ben Affleck's Batman, they're all played fairly similarly and appropriately from what I can see. I mean, Batman is just sort of a serious, sort of brooding character, and all of those actors who played him, even George Clooney and Val Kilmer too, who I'm going to give credit to also, do a good job at playing him. Um, but yeah, so yeah, he's really good. Michael Keaton's very good overall, and he's really good as a Vulture in the first Tom Holland one. And I like how John Favreau's in those also, and sort of Spider-Man's aide, so to speak. And he's really good in those. And who did I just? Yeah, John Favreau. Yeah, he's very good in those. Sorry, I keep farting. But yeah, so the second one, the not Homecoming, Far From Home, that was very good too. And again, all the actors in these films are great too. The Tom Holland ones. I'm trying to think of who else I should credit for acting. Sally Field does a really good job. Yeah, Sally Field does a good job of playing Aunt May and the um, Andrew Garfield ones. And then I'm trying to think of who else. The new Mary Jane. I can't remember her name. I think it's I know just she just has that one name though, but she does a good job of playing Mary Jane. And they're all so young looking. I don't know. I think it's just as I'm getting older, and I think the reason why I gave that critique to Tom Holland is I think just as people evolve, you just are going to look younger when you're 20 something. And when Tobey Maguire was in his 20s playing Spider-Man, I mean, he looked to me to be 27 at the time. And then when you look at both Andrew Garfield later on, and then Tom Holland later on, when they're in their 20s, they're 27 playing Spidey, they look even younger. I mean, it's like they look like babies to me. But that's to be expected. But I have to think of that actress's name, Zendara. I don't know it. Let me just check. Actress who played Mary Jane in No Way Home. Zendaya. Okay, so that's close. I bit off, but Zendaya is really good. And then he has that Friends also. Flash Thompson. I prefer the Flash Thompson in the original Spider-Man, not the original, but the Sam Raimi Spider-Man a bit more than the Flash Thompson in the Tom Holland ones. He matches more of what was found in the comic. I mean, Flash was this 6'2" jock, and in the Tom Holland ones, he's like this little nerdy guy. So, which is weird, but that's fine. It's not like a huge part of the film. It's a very small critique, but I think if you're going to do the Flash Thompson character, I think Raimi had a better way of doing that and sticking closer to the comics. But I understand people play around with ideas, so that's whatever. That's fine. Um, but yeah, the I'm trying to think of his friend's name. The comic relief, the Asian actor. I didn't even know the friend's name. But he's new to me. I don't know his name. I'm gonna look him up right now. Uh, yeah, I have no idea. Jacob Batalon. So he's good. He's very funny. And I enjoy him also. I think that's cool that they added him in there. That's why he has a friend now, I guess. So yeah, that's fine. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, so I really liked how they put Spider-Man in Europe in the second one. I have been to Europe before. I hope to go again someday. It was a while ago since I've been, but I'm trying to think of where he was in Europe. I wonder if it was the same place or places that I have been. Um, so Spider-Man No Way Home locations, Europe locations, or I guess where in Europe? Where in Europe was Spidey in No Way Home? Spidey. Hold on a second. Was scene set in Venice. Oh, okay. So Venice, Austria, Prague. Okay, so I've been to Prague and the Netherlands. So the Europe scenes in Spider-Man are Venice, Austria, Prague, Berlin. I haven't been to Berlin, but I have been to Munich, the Netherlands, and London. And I have been to London briefly, but that was just at the airport when I was going to Amsterdam, Prague, Munich, and Zurich. So I was only in London for a few hours at the airport, but it wasn't Prague, was in Germany, was in the Netherlands, and in London briefly. So it was kind of cool to see Spider-Man in those places I'd been in the past. Kind of weird, but it was cool, and I liked the um, idea that there's this sort of new European Spidey, and that's how he hid his identity. So pretending to be someone else, that European Spider-Man. I can't. What was the name of that? Um, that European Spider-Man alias. Spidey's European alias in No Way Home. Is it Bug Boy? I can't remember what the heck he calls himself. Um, but I anyway, I thought that was clever. Him having that there as part of the plot to conceal his identity, and yeah, I thought that was good. Mysterio was played very well by Jake Gyllenhaal, and I really like Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. Really liked him in No Country for Old Men, um, which is a controversial film to some, but I enjoyed that when I saw it. I am not a homosexual myself, but I consider myself to be a straight white cisgender man. But um, I thought that film was good. He's also really good in Donnie Darko, which was a cult classic for a while, but I think it might have gone beyond cult status now. But that's really good. Not really a horror film, but kind of a horror sci-fi, I guess would be the best way to put that. But he's really good in that. If you have not seen that, check that out. It's really cool. Donnie Darko. So yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal does a great job at playing Mysterio. Just a really giant prick in that. Um, and again, I don't know how I would use to describe Spidey in his quippy mode. I guess quippy would be the word to use for that. Um, so um, yeah, so Jake Gyllenhaal really strong as Mysterio, and I think that's about it for No Way Home. So I mentioned Sally Fields, and I mentioned Rosemary Harris. I'm trying to think of the actress who plays Aunt May in the third one, Marissa Tomei. So she's really good as Aunt May too. Kind of weird that she's young though. I'm so used to Aunt May being old. I have nothing against it. It was just weird seeing her as being young and then me like being attracted to Aunt May, which is strange. But so that was a good film. Both were good. Homecoming and No Way Home. Again, great special effects in both of those. Great acting. Third one, uh, yeah, third film, the Homecoming. So not Homecoming, Far From Home. So Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. So No Way Home was also really good too. That's my favorite out of all Tom Holland ones. Partly because they have Tobey Maguire back as Spidey, so that was cool to see. Again, I don't want to bash Andrew Garfield. I think he's good. I'll put Andrew on par with all the other Spideys. But if I do have to rank them, I'm gonna put Toby first, and then Holland, and then Garfield. Garfield's good, but I don't know, just something about him um, that is just kind of he's kind of like annoying. But again, I'll have to watch some of his other stuff to give him an actual evaluation as an actor. So again, the Amazing Spider-Man films are fine, but I'll put them on par. I'll put all the Spidey films on par. But again, if I have to put them in an order, I'll put Raimi first, and then the Holland ones, and then the Garfield ones. And Tobey Maguire's really good at playing Spidey in this one too. He's older. I think he was like 45 when they shot this, but he looks good. He's in good shape still, so that's good. Um, Man, he got like super ripped for the first one. I don't think he's as ripped for this one, but um, he's in very good shape still and does a great job at playing Spidey. Um, on par with his performance in the Raimi ones. And trying to think of what else from No Way Home that I enjoyed. Oh, the other villains being incorporated. So Doc Ock, um, Alfred Molina does a great job once again as Doc Ock. Um, Again, on par with what was found in Spider-Man 2. Um, so I'm trying to think of who else they brought back. I know they brought Electro back, and Jamie Foxx does a great job as Electro once again. So that was really cool to see like a live action film, blockbuster level where they incorporate all of these different Spider-Mans, all of these different Spidey villains. Again, they do this in the cartoons and in the CG films, but to see it in live action is just really impressive. Even more so, um, and yeah, it was just a great film. So they had Electro, Doc Ock, Sandman's back, and I'll have to credit the actor who plays Sandman. I didn't talk about him as much, but he is really good too. I am just blanking on the name. Um, oh, Thomas Hayden Church. So he's really good too. Great actor. Again, for all these Spidey films, I think that, once Raimi sort of set the bar and had all of his, I would give them all A-list standings in terms of actors. I think that's it's good that they continue to do that in all these Spidey films. I'm trying to think about who the other villains are. So Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro, and then was there Vulture in there? No, Vulture I think was I didn't see Morbius, but I guess Vulture is in Morbius. So I'm just gonna double check villains in Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, Green Goblin. Ah, duh. Okay, yeah. Lizard's back too, and Green Goblin. So man, they have one, two, three, five villains in there. So that's cool. Green Goblin again played really well by Willem Dafoe. I really like Willem Dafoe as that character. I really like Willem Dafoe as an actor. Um, Trying to think of the name of the film he was in with Gene Hackman. Mississippi Burning is a really good film. If you ever want to see him play a more, again, he does a really actually good serious Green Goblin in both of these films, Raimi's and No Way Home. But if you want to see something with a little bit more of a serious tone, just in terms of like a film, Mississippi Burning is very good. That is about racism in the South in the late 50s, early 60s, I think. I think it's early 60s. So, um, very moving film. Check it out if you're into Willem Dafoe and Gene Hackman also, who's also very good. But anyway, I went off on a tangent there. But I'll get back to Spidey here. Spider-Man No Way Home is a really great film. And I think that's really all I have to say about it. I really like how they incorporated all those different villains. I like how they incorporated the other two Spideys from the other two live action films. And yeah, just really good acting, great special effects, as in all the others. And trying to think of what else. I think that's it. So I'm gonna move on from Spidey now. The films rather, but I'll move into the animated series in the 90s as well as the ones in the 80s that I've seen and the 60s. So I'm just going all out for Spider-Man right now. So yeah, the I'll try to do these in chronological order. I'll go through the animated series from the 60s up to now. And I haven't seen all of them, but I have seen most. And again, I'm trying not to watch as much kid stuff now because I'm getting older. But the ones that I've seen are good. Um, the one from the 60s, the artwork is good for the time. If you're going from, I think the latest one I've seen in terms of the animated series is the Ultimate Spider-Man in 2008. I'm not going to go super deep into the video games either, but all the video games are good. There's Spider-Man games for all systems: Atari, NES, SNES, Sega. I played the one on PlayStation when I was younger. I've played a bit of the other ones that I mentioned too, not as much. The one on the PlayStation, the first one's really good. I think that's the first one that put Spidey in 3D, which is really cool as a kid to play. To put Spider-Man in a 3D environment where you can actually swing through the city and climb through ducts, and that was just really cool. Um, But anyway, the other new video games too are really good. The first one I can think of, like for the newer systems, the Wii, Spider-Man 3 is really good on that, and just that free roaming style. And I think they're like spot on with Spidey and his powers, his speed, his jump height, his ability to swing from webs, his use of webs to pull weapons from people's hands, to trap villains. It's all really cool, all done really well. I think it's all appropriate to Spider-Man and his power level. Um, and yeah, so the Spider-Man 3 on the Wii is as well as the other first two ones based off of the Raimi's films. So those are the first ones to sort of incorporate the free roaming, very large scale New York City that Spider-Man can travel through and do missions in. Both those that are part of the game plot as well as side missions. Um, yeah, those are really good. Those are on the Wii. There's a couple on the GameCube too that are really good too. I think Ultimate Spider-Man is another one for the GameCube. So maybe that wasn't the first time that Spider-Man had that open environment. I'm trying to remember that, but those were definitely of the first. And yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man on GameCube is really good. They have a different Venom storyline, which I was a bit biased against at first, but liked it once I saw it. And I'll give a bit of spoilers, but Venom in that game is not based off of an alien symbiote. The symbiote suit is created by Parker and Eddie Brock's parents. So their fathers, who are both scientists, and somehow the symbiote um, attaches itself to Brock. I don't remember the entire plot, but that it does differ a bit from the plot found in the Raimi films as well as the comics, where the symbiote is an alien. And actually, in the comics, the alien symbiote did not fall to Earth from. Oh wait, maybe it did. Okay, yes, that is the way it was. I was just thinking. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on now. Because I'm thinking of the Secret Wars. I can't remember. I'm trying to think. Did Spider-Man get the symbiote before he went to the Secret Wars, or was it after the Secret Wars? I think it was after the Secret Wars. But anyway, it was an alien. In the Ultimate Spider-Man video game, it was not. It was something created by the scientists. Um, I'm trying to think of what the order is for that. Um, Hmm. This says the first new change of costume done by Parker in the first published Amazing Spider-Man number 252 and chronologically donned in Secret Wars number 8. I think he did get it in the Secret Wars. I'm gonna check this one, which explicitly asks that question. Yeah, it does say it takes place during the Secret Wars crossover event. So yeah, I think he did get it in the Secret Wars. Anyway, the Secret Wars was just this battle that took place on this alien planet amongst all these different supervillains. And the black suit is essentially just alien that attaches itself to Spidey and his suit and giving him that black look. And it does give him extra strength and speed. It gives him his own organic webbing. In the comics, Spidey did have artificial webs, and that was the first appearance of the organic webs. So if you're interested in that, look up Secret Wars. I guess I'll talk about comics too, but I'll finish the video games first. The PlayStation 5, I think, and the PlayStation 4 video games, even PlayStation 3 are really good too. I played one Spidey game. I haven't played a lot of them, but I did play one for the Switch, which was very good. I think it is the Amazing Spider-Man for the Switch, which is really good. Same sort of free roaming style. Has missions that you can do, both missions and side missions, secret items you can find to unlock comic art, which is really good. These games are just really good. And again, they have Spider-Man's powers and his um, jumping height and speed and strength all are great, and the combat is also good. Trying to think of what else about those that I enjoy. All the plots are really good. They all have good stories and villains, and yeah, I've nothing. I never have anything too bad to say about Spidey and all the media that comes out about him. All of them are really good, and I think they all try to uphold the standards that the big Spider-Man nerds really try to hold him to. But so anyway, so yeah, the so I did the video games there, which are all good. And there's some I should credit the ones that are earlier on too, the ones on Atari and NES. So they're in 2D, obviously. They are not quite as good as the new games. Some of them are a bit glitchy, and but they're all good. And just trying to think. I keep saying everything's good all the time, so I'm gonna try to give some critique here. But some of them are a bit glitchy, which is more understandable for those games of the time. And but they're good. You can still jump really high as Spidey. You can shoot webs. You can still fight villains and punch and kick and climb walls. And yeah, Maximum Carnage is another good one that I played when I was a kid, where you can team up with Venom and fight villains and all that also. So those, I'll give credit to those games too. In terms of the comics, which I guess is good that I'm ending with the comics because that's how I first got into Spidey, and that was his first medium where he appeared. Um, yeah, so I think I first started reading those when I was around age 6 or 7. My dad gave me some of his collection to read from when he was a kid, the old ones from the 1960s through 1970s, as well as some from the 80s and 90s. Haven't really read anything beyond the 90s. Oh, wait, no, I did read a graphic novel that was really good about Spider-Man when he's old. He is in his 60s. I think Mary Jane has died. I'm trying to remember the name of that, but that was really good too. A bit more dramatic, a bit sadder. But that was a really good graphic novel too. I think that was made maybe 2010, circa 2010. I'm going to look that up. Comic with old Spider-Man. Or I guess I should say graphic novel, because graphic novels are a bit different than comics. But that's another one that I've read. Okay, so Spider-Man the graphic novel. Um, I'll check here. This doesn't have the one that I'm looking for, but that's fine. They're not showing it on here for some reason. I'm just gonna search a bit deeper though, because that might be in there. Hmm, that's weird. But there is one with him where he's old. He's in his 60s. Um, hold on, let me just refine my search here. Oh, is there um I cannot find the novel name, so I apologize for that, but that's also good. Um, yeah, I did read a lot of those when I was a kid, from the 60s, with the art from Steve or by Steve Ditko, as well as art by Todd McFarlane, who was really good at drawing Venom. Made Spider-Man a bit more extreme in terms of style. Steve Ditko is more kind of bubbly Spider-Man, whereas Todd McFarlane Spider-Man pointier, a bit darker, a bit more jagged. Um, I don't know if I would say detailed. A bit more detailed, actually quite a lot more detailed than Ditko, but I still do really like the Ditko art. I think it's really good, and the McFarlane art is really good too. It's just kind of more jagged, I guess would be the word for it, and highly detailed. But McFarlane did a really good job at drawing Venom when he was first introduced, creating a really cool kind of frightening villain. Venom's probably the most frightening looking of all the super villains with those huge fangs there. Um, but yeah, um, but those are all really good. If you ever want to read those comics from those time periods, definitely check them out. I can't speak for the newer ones. I haven't read, besides the graphic novel, um, from circa 2010, any of the new comics. So I can't speak to those, but if you want to comment and give an opinion on them, definitely leave one. Um, and yeah, I think that's it for my Spidey talk here. So I'm going a bit long on this video, so I'm going to stop this one and then just make a second one. So thank you all for listening and watching. My name's Steve Lancaster, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.